Hi, I'm Dr. Josh Yamamoto, and welcome back to the Foxel Wellness channel. We're going to do a very short piece on managing arterial health. We did a talk earlier on the short course of how to prevent strokes, and managing arterial health is a very important part of that. Again, the Foxel Foundation is a nonprofit educational foundation. Check us out at foxelfoundation.org. One of the big things that we're trying to emphasize is that good health doesn't just happen, you have to build it. It's a very interactive thing. And we talk about building our firm foundation of health, or the pyramid of prevention, a lot of steps to that, and eventually we're going to try to get to all of them. And today I want to focus on arterial health. Arterial health is one of the absolute foundations of building a healthy future. So, arteries. Arteries are part of the circulation. The heart pumps blood. It pumps blood to every single part of the body, everywhere. The blood leaves the heart through the arteries, the pipelines that carry blood, and it returns to the heart through the veins. But everything in the body needs blood. Everything needs to have blood supplied through these arteries. And you know what? Arterial health matters. If your arteries aren't healthy, if your arteries ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So we have to work to keep our arteries healthy. Why? Well, a heart attack, for example, is a heart that's damaged from a clotted artery going to the heart. The heart brings blood directly to itself, and if it doesn't get the blood through the arteries, you damage the heart. That's a heart attack. A stroke is a very similar thing when that happens to the brain. A stroke is brain damage from a clotted artery to the brain or from insufficient blood flow to the brain. And you know what? We're still number one, meaning that the leading cause of death is still vascular, cardiovascular disease, heart attacks and strokes. So this matters. If nothing else that we do matters, this is one of the most important things, keeping the arteries healthy. And you know, it's more than just eating right. If all it took was eating good food and having a good diet, our rabbits would live forever. We said that before, because you know what? They don't. Not that diet doesn't matter, but there's more to it than that, and there's more to it than exercise. Look at the poor hamster and the gerbil in the wheel, a year old, whereas the tortoise is 100, who's exercising more. Exercise matters, but there's more to it than that. There's more to the health of our arteries and how we build on that health than just diet and exercise. And the good news means that we can relax a little bit, because some of these things are easier to manage than you might think. One of the themes that we're really putting forth in the foundation is how much time plays a role in our health. And we like to say that there's almost no such thing as heart disease. It's just natural aging. Of course, there are issues with the heart, but so much of what goes on with our heart that we used to call disease is a natural aging phenomenon. Remember, we are not immune from time. It doesn't matter how many roots and berries you eat or how much you exercise, time still passes, and we are not immune from our genetics. Time and genetics happen to everyone. Our genetics are like the hand of playing cards that we're dealt. And as I like to say, you can't change those cards, but we certainly can learn how to play them well, and we certainly have reason to try. So, why do our arteries age? Our heart beats 100,000 times a day. That is an awful lot of wear and tear, simple mechanics. So imagine being slapped 100,000 times a day. What's going to happen to your skin? It's just going to get flayed off, and our body heals that. So we have a chronic healing process that's called inflammation. Vascular inflammation is the chronic healing of all of our blood vessels, all of our arteries, and it's always happening. When you heal the arteries, we grow plaque. So as we grow plaque, remember that is a natural phenomenon. It's a natural part of aging. Like rust in a pipe, it's going to happen. I love this picture. It's really gross. It has nothing to do with the human body, except that pipes carry blood to every part of us. And you know what? The pipe doesn't have to be totally blocked to be a problem. It's the gunk that gets in there, because we don't want gunk floating downstream and jamming up the heart or the brain. You slap it enough, it's going to clot. Blood clots are a real problem. As a matter of fact, we mostly die when we clot something off. You clot off the brain, that's a stroke. You clot off the heart, that's a heart attack. Blood clots are the problem. They form on plaque. Again, if you have the inflammatory plaque growing because time has passed in your artery and you have more trauma to that plaque and it cracks, the body's going to try to clot it off. If you completely block it with a clot, That's going to cut off blood flow. When that happens in the heart, that's a heart attack. A heart attack is when a clot forms in an artery that has some plaque, not necessarily blockage, just plaque. And when that clot forms in an artery going up to the brain, if that clot moves off, it'll land downstream and jam up the brain. That's a stroke. So the chronic inflammation from just daily life is going to lead to plaque formation. It's just a question of when. And the clot that forms in the plaque is what's going to finally cause the heart attack or the stroke. So managing our health, building our future health on the pyramid of prevention, arterial health matters an awful lot. And it's one of our starting points because everybody ages, everybody grows plaque. So it's important to know this is not a disease. Growing plaque is a natural part of the aging process. Please remember that. Don't feel bad that, oh my gosh, I had a disease. No. Congratulations. If you live long enough, you're going to have some plaque. So arguably the healthiest people are going to have plaque. Because you know what? None of us are immune from aging. We're going to be subject to the passage of time. And plaque is in our arteries is the source of clots that are what causes the damage. A clot is what causes the heart attack or the stroke, and that's the leading cause of death, and more importantly, perhaps, it's the leading cause of damage and disability. The last thing we want to damage is our brain. We're really trying to push our new way of looking at things. Never before in humankind have we had so many people living for so long, and now our goal is to help them to live well. The old way of thinking, old school. Old school is that this is a disease. We've called it by many names: coronary artery disease, peripheral artery disease, cerebrovascular disease. For a long time, heart disease, just in general, was equated with coronary artery or arterial disease. Well, our new school is to say, look, plaque grows. That's part of aging. Stop shaming people into thinking they have some disease. This is a natural part of the aging process. Old school, disease is bad, must cure disease, must stamp out disease. You know, our new way of thinking about it is that this is a process to be managed. Because we're going to age, let's do it well. So, atherosclerosis is growing plaque. It's part of natural aging. You, the person, all of us, we can slow down that process. We can slow down that process by understanding the things that feed it. That's going to be a talk coming up. You do that with our lifestyle choices, and there's plenty to be said for that. Your doctor can actually stop the process. In most cases, we know how to stop plaque from growing. And you could say, whoa, wait a minute, if I stop the actual biologic process of plaque growth, and it's not just eating vegetables and running on a treadmill all day, right, there are medical ways we can do that because we understand how this happens. And so what we really want to emphasize is how important it is to work together. You want to slow down the aging process by our lifestyle choices, and once you start growing plaque, because we all do, you want to stop it, and you need your doctor's help for that. So at the Foxhall Foundation, we love to say, think of heart D. You need to work with our doctor. We need to work together. And you ask H, how's the health of my heart? A, your arteries, that's what we're talking about now, rates and rhythms. And T, is it time to do something or time to take a medication? Because it's a joint process. So know that your arteries are going to change over time. They're supposed to. That's natural biology. Know that we need to know our health on the inside. How you look on the outside does not tell us how you've aged on the inside. That's going to be a talk coming up, is how do we know our health on the inside? And we need to know that there are things we can do, and things we can do on our own, and things we can do with our doctor to keep our arteries healthy and aging well so that you can prevent heart attacks and strokes and to keep the heart healthy. So the foundations of building your future health, arterial health matters. This is what happens to everybody. Our arteries age. We're going to understand how do we know what our health is. Got some great pictures coming up, really fun stuff to see. Gosh, heart disease is a silent killer, but apparently it's not invisible. You can see it. You can see these things. It's not hard. You just have to know how to look. And there's a lot we can do to keep the arteries healthy. Again, all of this is in the book. You can get this wherever books are gotten. There's a link on this website. Subscribe to this website or the YouTube channel, and check out foxhallfoundation.org. And look for our next talk coming soon.